So we're going to look at simple epithelial tissue. Simple epithelial cells may be squamous, cuboidal, or columnar, which are these three types here. And we're going to be looking at the squamous epithelial tissue to start with, or cell. And they're very flat, so you can see that they're very flat here. And what we find with them is they've got a nucleus in the middle, which creates a little lump. They're very scaly, and they fit together a bit like crazy paving, as you can see. They're very delicate and they're thin, and they don't offer much protection. And their chief function is or the main function, their job, is to allow materials to pass through them via diffusion and osmosis. They can be found in the walls of the alveoli, which is tiny sacs of air that are found in the lungs, and the blood capillaries. Just in case you're not sure what osmosis is, which I mentioned earlier, is the passage of water molecules from a region of high concentration to one of low concentration through a partially permeable membrane, which means that if it's permeable, it means it's very thin and it's allowed that things can pass through it. Okay, so we're going to look at the next one, and we're going to look at the cuboidal. Okay, so as their name suggests, they're cube-shaped with a spherical nucleus, so almost circular-like nucleus. They often line ducts and tubes and can allow material to pass through them in a similar way to the squamous epithelial. They often occur in the glandular tissues, making secretion. Secretion is where things leak through, I guess is the best way to put it. They can be found in the kidneys, the sweat ducts, and glands like the thyroid gland and breast tissue. So these can be found there. Okay, and we're going to look at the last one, columnar epithelial tissue. They're much taller, so you can see that they're the tallest cells out of the three, with slightly oval nuclei, so you can see that it's more oval than circular shaped. They can often be associated with microscopic filaments known as cilia, and are then called cilia moves in a wave-like motion, and it is often can be referred to as peristalsis, actually. Beating towards the orifice, and are commonly associated with goblet cells, which secrete mucus in the respiratory tracts. The mucus traps unwanted particles like carbon, and the cilia transports the flow of dirty mucus towards the exterior. So their job is to get the waste and in a wave-like motion push it out of the system. These types of cells can be found in the trachea, which is the windpipe, the bronchi, which is just below the windpipe. It's got kind of like the branches that come off the windpipe, and the small intestines. And this is the cell here.